Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. We had an exciting week of, boxing here. At the end of the day, we've seen some great fights, so we have to just dig into it. Uh, you know, all of the boxing news that's available. So let's start with Josh Taylor in the World Boxing Super Series. He pretty much defeated his opponent, Ivan Baranchyk, and he pretty much, put on a boxing masterclass against him. Josh Taylor is defensively responsible. He took a couple of big shots, but for the most part, his defense was completely on point. His offense was very good. He had a high work rate. He had a lot of lateral movement, head movement. He was very, very impressive in his performance against Ivan Baranchyk. And so, him and Regis Prograis. It is a super fight. It is coming next. It is the final in the World Boxing Super Series at 140 pounds. Josh Taylor versus Regis Prograis. That is going to be an excellent, excellent fight. I cannot wait for that fight. I believe it's a 50-50 fight. That is not going to be an easy fight for either one of those guys. Josh Taylor put on a great performance and showed why he's a special fighter, showed why that he's not someone that you can overlook. A lot of people are overlooking Josh Taylor, not giving him credit, not stating that he's a guy that can compete at the highest level, but he truly is. Josh Taylor is going to be a problem for anyone that steps in the ring with him. Josh Taylor has elite level skill set. He's 15-0 with 12 knockouts. Josh Taylor is pretty big for the division as well. He stands at 5'10", and he's still in his prime at 28 years old, just now entering his prime. He beat an undefeated Ivan Baranchyk. So you have to understand that, he beat a guy who's undefeated, who has serious knockout power, who's 19-0 with 12 knockouts, and who was 26 years old as well. So, he beat a guy, and he used every tool that he had in his advantage. His height, his reach, his work rate, lateral movement. He used his IQ. Josh Taylor is a monster. And then you turn around and then you look at a guy like Naoya Inoue, and pretty much when he came out, in his most recent fight, and we have to dig into that as well, that he ended up facing, I believe, Emmanuel Rodriguez. Now, when he fought Emmanuel Rodriguez, that was an interesting fight. A lot of people felt like Emmanuel Rodriguez, being 19-0 with 12 knockouts, undefeated, will be, Inoue's biggest test, would show us a lot about Inoue, show us exactly how good Inoue is, how can he compete at this level. And, they call him the monster for a reason. They call Inoue the monster for a reason. Inoue defeated him in 2 rounds. The first round looked a little bit like a fill-out round, but he started, getting warmed up, getting going in the second round. The power shots landing on Emmanuel Rodriguez were thundering, and eventually put him down multiple times on the canvas until the referee had to call it off. At the end of the day, Inoue is a monster. That's his nickname for a reason. And it's going to be hard for anyone to beat this guy. I think him in a matchup with Nonito Donaire would be a fantastic matchup. It'll be a one for the ages, and we still don't know how good Inoue is at this point. I know Nonito is a very, very special fighter, same as Inoue, and I understand that it's going to be a very interesting fight. But at the end of the day, I don't think there's anybody that I can pick over Inoue at this moment. I just don't. I don't see anyone that I can pick over him. He's just a very special fighter, and you have to be honest and unbiased when you look at that. And so then you move on to Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders looked impressive in his win. He pretty much won the world title at 168 pounds. So, but, Billy Joe Saunders didn't show me anything that I didn't already know. Shafat Sufi, he didn't show me anything. He just pretty much outboxed the guy, dominated the guy who was an elite level type fighter like Billy Joe Saunders, who moved to 28-0 with 13 knockouts in a dominating fashion against Shafat Sufi, over 12-round decision, and won the WBO world title at 168. You give him credit for that. You give Billy Joe Saunders credit for that. It was a good, impressive win. Moved up in weight, got the belt, but it's still meaningless in the fact that all the big fights are to be made at 160 pounds, and so winning a fight at 168 kind of takes you out of that mix. Now, I understand that there's some talk that Billy Joe Saunders could face a Callum Smith at 168. I think that'll be an excellent elite level, top level fight, and I think that that'll be a very close fight. Billy Joe Saunders impressed me a lot at 168, and I know that Callum Smith is probably the best at 168, if not one of the best, and I think that that would be a hell of a fight to make. That'll probably be the most likely fight next if these guys actually want the fight. I think that fight has a better chance of getting made than Billy Joe and Triple G, than Billy Joe and Canelo, because at the end of the day, Billy Joe Saunders, he could have, fought Demetrius Andre, got his belt back, and then moved on to face of Canelo Alvarez for undisputed. But the fact that he didn't do that, the fact that he chose to move up to fight for a vacant belt, shows me that he wasn't serious about fighting Canelo at 160. That shows me he really wasn't serious. You got to judge a guy by his actions, and his actions show that he really didn't want that smoke. But once again, Unbiased as always, it's the IBFP. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.